Let's run the fucking ball. Why didn't you just take a fucking knee?
This ends up on Pornhub. Sorry for your weird masturbation session.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Sideline Study Podcast. There is tons of, well, not tons of stuff. There's one really big thing that I want to talk about. And everybody knows what that is. With me tonight, I have Bobbit and Coop. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How about Bobbit? How's Bobbit doing?
Bob's doing good. Bob's doing good. Ready to talk some football because, it's always a good week because it's always football week.
Yeah.
Bobbit, you repeated yourself 35 times in that fucking sentence. But anyway, Coop, how was that hit before we went
Sorry, I
live?
stuttered. Damn. You asshole.
How was that hit before we went live? He hit a bonger before we started. So.
I did. Coop get high. Coop get high. I'm talking.
I mean, he got high, everybody. So welcome to the show. So let's start it off. We're gonna start it off with, you guessed it, what happened fucking Thursday night. I take issue with what happened Thursday night. Who here? I want to get everybody else's thoughts on it. We'll start with Coop, and we'll just discuss. But I want to see if anybody can pick up on what I'm gonna throw at you. Go ahead, Coop.
That's basically what assault was. That's what I saw out there on the field. That's basically a crime that just happened out there.
Okay.
So.
That's not what I have an issue with.
Oh, okay. I mean, but man, I gotta say probably one of the best fights of the year though. But in worst case though, I'm kind of like disgusted watching something like that because I don't want anybody to get hurt, right? So, but it was scary to watch for me though, as a person though. What do you guys think?
I do agree with you that the player, Myles Garrett, should be suspended. But I take issue with the fucking quarterback not being suspended.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's the reason why. He started the fight.
Yeah, on the ground, right?
Here's the thing. Everybody's like, well, he didn't do anything wrong. Bullshit, he fucking did not. He tried pulling Myles Garrett's helmet off. So Myles Garrett responded. Now, Myles Garrett responded with a hit to the top of the head with his own helmet. That being said, he was being punched repeatedly. So what is he supposed to do? He doesn't have a free hand. So, I mean, he should have had awareness to throw the helmet away. But, hey, in the heat of the battle, in the heat of the moment, I'll put it to you like this. If I'm in a hand-to-hand combat with an enemy, I'm gonna grab the closest thing I can and I'm gonna try and beat the fucker's head in. Sorry, it's just the way it is. Now, that being said, he should have had the awareness to know that this is only a football game. This is not life or death. It was so frustrating to watch the quarterback get away with so much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I can tell you why nothing happened to him. Because goddamn motherfucking protect the quarterback bullshit.
Yeah, from what I've read online, apparently a Thursday game, it takes like a week for that suspension process to go through or something like that. So maybe it just hasn't gone through yet for the suspension for him yet.
I don't think anything's going to happen to him. He got a $35,000 fine, and that is all.
Oh, really? That's it?
That is it.
Oh, man, that sucks. That sucks, man. He got away with a lot then.
So, why is it not showing up? See if you can get it pop up. So, Yeah, that's my issue with it. Mason Rudolph should be suspended for at least 2 games. He shouldn't be suspended for the whole year. Myles Garrett will probably have to go through anger management, but I just wish that he would have been suspended, because you can pretty much guarantee that he's going to appeal, and he might take this to court. This may go to court for Myles Garrett, because he's going to say, I understand being suspended, but I want to see Mason Rudolph be suspended for a couple of games as well. He started the fight. And when a fight escalates this far, man, come on now. And anybody that wants to sit here and argue and say he didn't do anything wrong, get the fuck out of here. Seriously.
No, I agree. He definitely, like, I saw some squabbling on the ground when, and it looked like he kind of like was like doing something to him on the ground.
He did. So. He went to pull. He was trying to pull his helmet off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to say that Mason Rudolph is innocent in this whole thing, is a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Bobbit, what did you think?
Well, another thing is, too, I was going to say, if you go back and watch replay, Mason Rudolph was repeatedly punching Myles Garrett in the crotch, too.
See? And nobody paid attention. Everybody focused on what he did with that helmet. What did Mike Pouncey? Mike Pouncey actually was beating the hell out of Myles Garrett. All Myles Garrett did is hit Mason Rudolph with the fucking helmet. Myles and Mike Pouncey repeatedly was on top of fucking Myles Garrett punching him. So how come Mike Pouncey didn't get suspended for the whole year?
Oh, and did you also see that guy that came up and pushed Rudolph from behind?
Well, he got suspended for a couple of games too.
Yeah.
But Mason Rudolph had it coming. He was punching in there as well, people. Mm-hmm. The quarterback was not innocent in any of this whatso-fucking-ever. And anybody that wants to sit there and say he is, get the fuck out of my fucking chat. Because it don't make any fucking sense. What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
I agree. Mason Rudolph should be punished. And I guess 35,000, that's it. That sucks.
Well, essentially, they're saying that the quarterback can get away with anything.
But essentially, that's what it is. The quarterback can start a fight and then
not get in trouble for it.
And not get in trouble for it. He'll get fined, but that's it. And I call bullshit on any quarterback. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't have cared if it was fucking Brett Favre. Should have been suspended. Should have been fined. Period. Bottom line. Don't fucking care. That shit is not. That shit is not acceptable. Now, the argument that, and I was watching Fox News and they were talking about it there. Kat Timp, she doesn't watch football, but she watches hockey. They're allowed to fight in hockey. How come they don't get suspended for the entire year? See, the stupid. Fighting should not be allowed, period. Period. That's all I got to fucking say about it. Bobbit, anything else you'd like to add?
All I'm just going to say is I've been watching football since '95, and that was probably the craziest thing I think I've ever seen.
Right. Coop, anything else that you want to add?
No, you nailed most of it, where I just agree that Mason Rudolph did something on the ground, and I thought they were going to charge him with a suspension or something like that.
I'm not saying he needs to be punished like Myles Garrett was, but he
definitely deserved more
than a $35,000 fine. He deserved to be suspended.
That seemed like a game or two.
At least. A game or 2 or 3. Whatever. I've seen worse. And players get suspended for 3 games, 4 games.
From what they say, it was a really bad look for the NFL, though.
It is.
It is. For me, it is, because it pisses me off that they have leniency for a fucking quarterback, but they don't have any leniency for anybody else. I call bullshit on that, and I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't give a fuck if you're a fucking Steelers fan. Steelers can go fuck themselves for all I care. I don't give a shit. And the thing is Myles Garrett made a mistake because they were winning. He didn't even need to do anything. It's not like they were going to score 14 points in 6 seconds. There's no way. So, but still. At least he played to the whistle. I hope he gets reinstated back into the NFL. Apparently he was suspended indefinitely, which I call bullshit on. But whatever. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse than what happened there. So yeah.
I've always knew Mason Rudolph had kind of an attitude.
But he shouldn't. He isn't that fucking good.
He's only in because Ben got injured.
Well, just remember isn't he the same guy that wanted to compete against Ben Roethlisberger last year or a couple of years ago for a starter role or something like that? He said that he can match like the starting role kind of thing. So I just figured that he's always had like a little bit of an attitude. So
right. Ryan said in the chat, we've seen fights before in the NFL, not that much of a big deal. The hit with the helmet was the really big shocker, and that's why everyone is so fixated on it. And I get it, but that's not the only thing that the NFL should be fixated on. They should be fixated. This whole retaliation, that's who gets flagged bullshit, needs to stop in the NFL. It needs to stop in football, period. You want to stop? You want to mitigate fucking fighting in the NFL? Flag both teams. Flag both teams for unsportsmanlike conduct, and then when in college football, if you hit somebody with the helmet with targeting, you're ejected from the game. If they deem it targeting. The NFL, they should do the exact same fucking thing. And they don't. So that's all I've got to say on it. What else was there that we were going to talk about? I know I did the rundown with you guys before. What was it? Oh yeah, let's talk about the MVP race.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of talk out there about Lamar Jackson being in the running for the MVP. Is he good enough? Yeah, he deserves to be in that discussion. Now I seen something yesterday that said. Had a list of players that throwing 4 touchdowns and no picks in over 300 yards in one game or 2 games in a year. And it's not a short list, but I can tell you right now that list is actually long, not as long as you think it is. Those are Hall of Famers, but Ken Stabler I don't think would be a Hall of Famer in today's NFL. The NFL is so changed.
Yeah.
The NFL is so changed. Now, see, and I don't want people to get all, well, you should be a Hall of Famer. He's not Hall of Fame quality yet. This is only his second year in the NFL. And I understand that, Chad. I understand he has had 2 other issues. I don't have an issue with him being suspended, okay? I have no issue with him being suspended. The problem is Mason Rudolph started that fight in that play. And he got nothing out of it. He got a $35,000 fine. I do agree that Myles Garrett should have... Thank you, Chad. Okay, so Chad agrees with me. The way he was saying it, he said he should be gone for a game
I think
or 2.
he came in late, didn't realize you had said that.
Yeah. Well, I think he did. He said Myles Garrett has had 2 other issues this year. I don't dispute that Myles Garrett should be suspended. I don't. For the whole year, I don't know. Who knows? That's neither here nor there. But back to Lamar Jackson. I think... No, don't apologize, Chad. You're good. It's good to see you again, man. I haven't seen you in a while, too, by the way. That being said, Lamar Jackson is... I think he's in the discussion. Is he though? We'll see if he can keep doing what he's doing. But you know who he reminds me of doing that? His backup had this. He did this his rookie year.
RG3?
Yes, he looked really good his rookie year, and then took a big giant shit. Didn't pan out. No, seriously, go look at it.
I remember the RG3 days. My father's a Redskins fan.
Now that being said, because he was in I think he won Rookie of the Year that year. I think, if I remember correctly. He is so much fun to watch. And Heather loves watching him.
I do.
Heather, that's Heather's favorite team. I hope he does too. I'm reining it in because we have to remember. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Oh, that's another thing we want to talk about. Yep. Colin Kaepernick. Look at Colin Kaepernick, his first year starting. Nobody could figure him out. The very following year, what happened? He didn't have as good of a year. Then he regressed, and there you go. That's what happened to him. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen to Lamar Jackson. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen to all these scrambling quarterbacks that feel they need to run the ball. Now, that being said, Lamar Jackson has a better coach than RG3 had, and he has a better coach than fucking San Francisco had. So that being said, I'm not gonna. John Harbaugh's a Super Bowl winning coach. I think he's really good. That being said, I think he will be fine. I think he's going to be one of the better players in the NFL over the next 5-6 years. Now, he will regress because people will figure him out, and this is the NFL. Their teams will figure this out, and he's going to have to learn how to throw from the pocket first before he takes off and runs. And right now, he's able to take off and run because that's what John Harbaugh has him doing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't see anybody open on that first progression or second progression. He's gone. Which tells me he's football smart because he says, okay, I have, 5 seconds? 5 seconds gone. He runs. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's football smart there. You look at Aaron Rodgers, he sits there in the pocket and waits and waits and waits because he doesn't want to throw a pick.
He's also in the MVP category, Aaron Rodgers.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Russell Wilson is in the MVP discussion.
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is in the discussion for MVP.
Dalvin Cook is actually doing really well this year under the radar.
I think that Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL. Now, that being said, Carolina's got to stop relying on him so much. That's why they're struggling. They're relying too much on Christian. Let me tell you something. Christian McCaffrey, they lost 34-3, 29-3. He still scored 25. Yeah, oh my God. He still scored 25 points in fantasy football. That tells you how good he is.
Oh my God.
He didn't even have a touchdown and he still scored 25.
Wow.
He had 11 catches for like 131 yards and 80 yards rushing or something like that. It's freaking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell you about him? He's one of the better running backs in the league. Yeah, you're right, Chad. Running backs are so underrated. It's because it's become a quarterback first mentality for. Now, that being said, me and Gina talked about this because she loves the Minnesota Vikings, which is fine. And I was telling her, this is why Minnesota. Yes, we know. You're copying me. I don't know why.
She's laughing too. She knows.
So everybody's saying hi. Can you say hi to everybody? Say hi. There she goes. She just waved.
Oh, nice.
She's doing this. So now I lost my train of thought.
MVP talk.
Yeah, I did not know that because right now the Jaguars are insignificant to me because they aren't very good.
Hey, Chad, you want to know about the beautiful thing about that is that dude's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, back to the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer, if he could, and they've talked about it during games, if Mike Zimmer could, he'd run the ball 70 times and never throw it if he had to. The guy does not like to throw the football. That's why Kirk Cousins.
That's a close call for them too.
Kirk Cousins, he's a game manager, and that's why they got him. But Mike Zimmer's got to realize that this is a quarterback league. This is a throwing league. It is not a running backs league anymore. And I do agree that running backs are underrated, but there's like Aaron Jones and Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey. Still Todd Gurley. He looked pretty good this past weekend. I didn't play him, but it didn't need him because I played Trek and fantasy football. But so the problem with that is it's more of a throw first mentality anymore. Teams play off the run or off the pass. Teams run off the pass. It used to be teams passed off the run. Now they do the run off the pass. So things have changed. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Green Bay has gotten back to what they used to be really good at, and that was play action pass. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
I don't think
So,
she did. I think she's just.
but
mind
Lamar
blowing.
Jackson, yes, he's in the discussion. Will he win it this year? I don't think so. I don't think he will. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see a kid like him win. He is a really good kid. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm the greatest. I'm not the best. No, she doesn't like play action pass. Apparently, stop hitting yourself. Fucking retard. I had my doubts about Lamar Jackson because I watched him play in college, but apparently he's more football smart than I thought. That's how I know Baker Mayfield isn't very good because he doesn't have football smart. He's not football smart. He thinks
doesn't
he
even
is.
dress well, apparently.
He thinks he's football smart, but he's not football smart. Well, Cam Newton doesn't dress well. Look at the last time I've seen that motherfucker wearing barbed wire on his fucking head.
Although, who am I talking about? You just called me Bill Murray not too long ago.
Well, you look like Bill Murray.
Terrible dresser.
Do you want to come and get her, please? Because she's trying to get into shit. So what do you guys think? I mean, I'm not there with him for being. Well, I know where you stand.
But with Lamar Jackson, it's yes, he's in the MVP picture, but he's also considerate of his team. Because there's a video out there of Harbaugh talking to him on the sideline. He sat there and Harbaugh said, you're up for MVP. And Lamar Jackson said, I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about Super Bowl.
Which is what a quarterback should be worried about. It's what every player should worry about. It should be about the Super Bowl, not
MVP.
Not
for
MVP.
personal reasons.
Not individualism, and that's why I think he's going to go a long way because he's not about the individualism. He's about
His team.
yeah. He's about the team.
And that's another reason why I like him so much, because he is team-centric, not self-centric.
Yeah.
He one thing I do mention, he has 5 interceptions this season compared to Russell Wilson with only 2.
Right.
So,
well, what does Aaron Rodgers have? I think he only has like 2 interceptions.
2 or
Aaron
3.
Rodgers, what does he have for interceptions? Yeah, he's only got 2 as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's not throwing like he doesn't have like 20 touchdowns, but he's not turning the ball over. He looks comfortable. And people were saying that he looks comfortable in that offense. Yes, he does, but I can't remember what the discussion was. And I said, he is, but if that's the case, then he'd be perfect. If he is that comfortable in that fucking offense, he would be throwing for 400 yards and fucking 5 touchdowns every fucking game.
He's comfortable, but there are situations that they get into with certain teams that makes him uncomfortable. Which that's going to happen with any quarterback.
That's true. So, Bob, what about you? I think he fell asleep.
No, I was trying to mute. It's really hard to tell right now who my favorite MVP candidate is. But if I had to go with somebody, it'd probably be Lamar Jackson because dude's been a stud all year. Plus, he's been giving me a fuck ton of fantasy points.
Well, that doesn't win an MVP.
No. Unfortunately.
Fantasy football. Fantasy, well, for you, but fantasy football. Are you voting on an MVP?
He's got over 1,000 already.
Yeah, so no, you don't vote on an MVP. You don't get a vote.
He's got 11, Christian McCaffrey's got 11 touchdowns for over 1,059 yards right now.
Right. Aaron Jones actually has the lead for touchdowns by a single player.
He's got 11 with 589 yards.
But he might. Yeah. Nope. He still has. Aaron Jones still has more touchdowns than he does.
Oh,
Aaron Jones has 14.
Updated,
I think Aaron Jones has 14 or 15, and Christian McCaffrey has 14. If I remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's probably slow with the system then.
No, it's all right. I just know that's who's leading the league in touchdowns is Aaron Jones. They were talking about it. The Packers were playing the Panthers, and they were talking about Aaron Jones and Christian McCaffrey. Happy. So is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
Did you want to talk about Kaepernick?
Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. Let's talk about that fucking Brillo pad hair looking motherfucker. Look, from what I heard, and Stephen A. Smith, somebody in the chat put it out there, that Colin Kaepernick is looking for all he's doing is looking for a platform. He wasn't trying out for a team. He just wants to look out. He's just looking for a platform to be on. And to me, that's trash. That's pretty shitty.
There's nothing over there.
What did you hear?
Huh?
What did you hear? He didn't even do the tryout. Apparently, he didn't get his way, so he canceled the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but he
still ended up throwing a couple of balls. So.
Yeah, but he only wanted a platform. He only wants a platform, and the NFL gives him that platform. And this is why the no NFL team wants anything to fucking do with him because he does not fucking care about football. So why in the fuck did I have to have a fucking argument with almost everybody on fucking social media about this fucking goon with the fucking goddamn Colin Kaepernick and this fucking tryout? And somebody said, I hope he makes an NFL team. I said, I guaranteed he's not making an NFL team because he doesn't give a fuck about football. All the motherfucker wants is a goddamn fucking platform. Oh yeah, we talked about it we talked about it right off the top there, Ray Sean. It's right at the beginning of the show. But Colin Kaepernick just wants a platform to stand on, and so he can voice his opinion. He don't give a fucking shit about the NFL. He doesn't give a shit about being able to fucking throw for a touchdown. He doesn't give a shit about helping his team make it to a Super Bowl. All he cares about is whether or not he can voice his fucking opinion, and it can be heard. He can go fuck off. He can go crawl under the hole. The funny thing is, this motherfucker was adopted by rich white parents.
I did not know that.
Yep. And he talks all this shit about fucking black oppression on whites, or white oppressing the blacks. And this motherfucker, Kane, was raised by 2 white people who gave him fucking everything. Put him through fucking school. Put him in every football camp to go to. But yet, he's being oppressed. How? How is he being oppressed? It's fucking bullshit. Colin Kaepernick can go fucking crawl in a hole and defecate on himself, and then eat it. That's how I feel about Colin Kaepernick. And I hope he's fucking watching this, cause yeah, motherfucker, that's how I feel about you. You're a fucking worthless piece of shit for a football player.
We're having a similar debate kind of thing with somebody that in Canada, Don Cherry. Did you hear about that news?
I did not. I did. I heard about it. He said something and it got him fired.
Yeah, and now people are up. It's like the same thing with Colin Kaepernick thing. So, it's the same thing out here in Canada.
It's an agenda, and it's a political fucking agenda. That's what the liberals want you to think, that they're oppressing Colin Kaepernick for not being able to play in the NFL. Well, in order for him to fucking get anybody to fucking get interest in him, he's got to fucking do something. You can't just throw a couple of footballs and think, yeah, that'll work. That's all I'm going to give you. And then he stands there, he's got a Kunta Kinte shirt on, and then he fucking talks about other shit. Hey, get the fuck out of here. If that's all you want to do, if I was, this is why I said this the very first time he fucking knelt for the national anthem. This guy does not care about football. He only cares about a platform that he can use to voice his opinion, because he makes millions of fucking dollars. The fuck out of here. Guy's fucking worthless. It's the last time I'm gonna fucking talk about that fucking asshole. Anybody else want to add anything to it?
Shame on the Jets for going to actually watch that guy. I don't know why the Jets were there.
Because they thought he was actually going to work out.
Yeah.
The teams that went there thought he was actually going to work out, and they have a need for a backup quarterback. They just wasted thousands and thousands of dollars traveling out there to look at a guy who thinks his afro is cool. Which I don't think any afro is cool. You look like an idiot. You look like a fucking willow tree.
I am Groot.
You look like fucking, the fucking dandelions before they become a dandelion. Fucking,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what you look like. That don't look cool. It's ridiculous, man. Fucking people today. So, let's go. Want to do the NFL rankings?
Yeah. Just a quick mention. Kyle Allen is actually looking good for the Buffalo Bills right now.
Yeah.
I really like how he's playing so far.
Josh Allen?
Yeah. Sorry.
The quarterback?
Kyle Allen's for the Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Allen's had his moments.
But for the Buffalo Bills and how they've been playing so far, I've been really impressed with Allen so far.
And for I'm gonna stop you right there. It is his right to kneel for the national anthem. You can't make somebody do something against their will. That's not what this country's about. And I'm just saying, when he knelt for the national anthem, I knew right then and there that this guy didn't care about football. He just wanted the platform to voice his opinion. That's all he fucking cared about. He didn't care about his fucking team. That's why.
My father said it was a last resort that he was doing because he was on the bench behind somebody.
Well, the guy was better than he was.
Yeah.
Fucking worthless piece of trash. All right, so starting out, number 32, we all know the Bengals. 31, the Redskins. 30, the Giants. 29, the Dolphins. 28, the Buccaneers. Your Jets jumped up 2 to 27. Coup.
Goofy.
The Cardinals went up 1-26. The Lions dropped 1-25. The Broncos dropped 2-24. The Bears continue to drop. They're down to 23.
I just quickly, I want to mention the Broncos were actually competing against the Vikings in that game. So.
Yes, and I honestly, and I told Gina this last night, the Vikings should not have won that game at all. They shouldn't have. And I don't care what anybody says. Yes, a win's a win is a win, but I would be embarrassed if I was a Vikings fan. That's all I'm saying. Number 22.
And the Lions actually competed well against the Cowboys. That's the only other thing. Sorry.
Yep, no, that's it. Number 22, the Falcons. They've had 2 wins in a row.
The Falcons with an upset, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to think no, they're not upsets. I think they're a little late to the party, but I thought they were going to be good at the beginning of the year, but they're a little late to the party now. Up to number 21 is the Browns. The Jaguars stay solid at 20. The Chargers dropped 1-19. The Titans went up 1-18. The Panthers dropped 2-17. They should have dropped more than that. I'm sorry. They lost to the Falcons. Yes, the Falcons are looking better. I'm just saying. What are the Titans? Panthers? Steelers dropped 4-16. They lost to the Browns. 14. The Bills are at 14. They went up 2. The Eagles dropped 2-13. The Raiders went up 2-12. The Rams went up 2-11. The Texans dropped 1-10. The Chiefs went up 1-9. The Cowboys stayed at 8. The Vikings stayed at 7. And so now the Packers dropped 1-6. The Saints went up 1-5. I think you can interchange those two. I think I would have kept the Packers above the fucking Saints because the Saints lost to a pretty bad team. Even though I think the Falcons have figured it out. Number 4 is the Seahawks. Number 3 is the Patriots. Number 2 is the Ravens. And still number 1 is the 49ers. I still don't buy how good they are.
Don't buy them.
I still don't buy them. We're going to find out. They play the Packers this weekend. We'll find out how good they are. So, yeah. So that being said, let's jump right into the college corner. And we're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy. I didn't get to watch much football this weekend because I was actually traveling. So I did watch some games on Saturday. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about this first. Alabama is in trouble. They do not have Tua anymore. He is out for the rest of the year. And I figured it was going to happen, and I don't think he was his draft stock was going to be that high, but his draft stock is going to drop big time because he's injury prone. He's been hurt all year. He was hurt last year, and he is injury prone. So that being said, Alabama may not make the playoffs. That is all I'm going to say. That being said, your Heisman, there are 4 players out there that are in the Heisman Trophy. Joe Burrows. Jonathan Taylor's back in it. Who are the other 2?
Burrow.
I already said him.
Chase Young.
Chase Young shouldn't be in it at all. He should not be anywhere near the Heisman Trophy because he's missing 4 games. But anyway, it's pretty much gonna be. It's gonna be Joe Burrow should win the Heisman in my opinion. The reason Jonathan Taylor's back in it, and justifiably so, is he has rushed for 200 yards the last 2 games. and he's been back to his form. He's had 2 struggles. They had the bye week and those 2 games previous to that. Or the one game, the game against Ohio State, he struggled. And they got taken out of the Heisman run. But now he's back in it. If he can continue to do what he's doing, he has a chance. I'm going to say this, and this is about LSU now, and I think Bobbitt and I talked about this last night. Or no, Gina and I did. Gina and I talked quite a bit last night about football. LSU. They are the best team in college football right now, but they have one weakness, their defense. They need to shore up their defense like yesterday, because if they go up against the Clemson, they will get destroyed. If they go up against an Ohio State, they will get destroyed. If they go up against a Georgia, they may get beat. They may get beat. Georgia stumbled. They have looked really good since that loss. So, don't take and think that LSU is just going to run away with it, because their defense is giving up yards. They gave up yards to a way understaffed Ole Miss team. They better be fucking careful. They need to fix their defense or they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And they have one of the most talented defenses in college football. Up there with Alabama, up there with Clemson. I still think Clemson is the best team in college football, in my opinion. Just the way it is. LSU's up there. They're number 2. But, man, that defense better figure shit out, because they will lose in the playoff. They may not win their game to get into the national title game if they don't fix their defense, because they look bad on defense. You gave up, I don't even know how many fucking yards, but you gave up, like, what was it, 30, 31 points to Mississippi. Mississippi! Not very good. Not very good. Not very good at all. That's scary if you're an LSU fan. That's all I'm going to say. Bobby, you got the top 10? Or do you have any thoughts on college football? Do you got any thoughts on college football this past week? I didn't get much chance to watch football games this past weekend.
Minnesota lost. Thank God.
Oh, yeah, that was Wisconsin. This is why Wisconsin's right back in it, man. I'm so excited. All Wisconsin has to do is win out, and they win the Big Ten West.
Another thing, my Virginia Tech Hokies, we just got to win out the last 2 games, and we'll win the ACC championship game.
So you'll finish. You'll be the consolation prize for the ACC, because you ain't beating Clemson.
No.
I don't think anybody's beating Clemson. But, okay.
So your rankings are...
And this is college football playoff top 10. This is as of tonight, I do believe. Go ahead, Bobbitt.
Number 10, I don't know why, is Minnesota.
Because they have 1 loss. It's fine, no. Go ahead.
Number 9 is Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 is Penn State.
Okay.
Number 7 is Utah.
Okay, I can see that.
Number 6 is Oregon.
I think, honestly, I'm actually going to say this. With Tua being hurt, that hurts Alabama. I honestly think that Alabama should drop behind Oregon and Utah.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, though.
Number 5 is Bama.
Yep.
Number 4 is Georgia.
Yep. See? Right back in it. Go ahead.
Number 3 is Clemson.
Which I disagree with, but go ahead.
Number 2 is Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
and number 1's LSU.
So where's Wisconsin at in this?
Number 12.
Okay, so they're right there. Minnesota should not be ahead of Penn State. Or Penn State should not be ahead of Minnesota. Penn State should be 10, and I think Minnesota should be 9. And then whoever's number 8. Whoever was number 9 should be number 8, in my opinion.
Oklahoma.
Okay, Oklahoma should be number 8. But didn't they lose this past week? No, they won. They came back. That was a hell of a game, too. They came back and won. So, yeah. Smoke weed every day. Just like Coop.
I swear that was.
I know it was Bob Ed. That's his notification or ringtone or whatever. So that being said, that's the end of the College Corner. We'll be back next week with that. We'll talk more. I'll actually be able to watch some football this weekend. I had to work this weekend at a Yellow Ribbon event, sending soldiers off to go overseas. So it was a rewarding time for me. I actually got to sit in on some Q&A with some family. It was quite entertaining. Quite an interesting weekend. One of the best weekends I think I've ever had as a position that I hold on in the job sector. That being said, we're going to get into our picks for the week. I'll write them down again.
I'll write them down, but first you want to go over last week's?
I do, but we're ready to do it, so.
Clean up a bit.
So, that being said, there it is. Last week, Coop went 10-4. Bobbit went 10-4. JP went 10-4. Heather went 12-2. Sarah went 12-2. Gina went 12-2. Trek went 11-3. Cody went 11-3. Rayshawn went 10-4. Danrix went 10-4, and Ryan went 11-3. And the chart looks like this. For some reason, Gina is now tied with Coop, and I am still behind at 101.5. I think I'm gonna have to do some picks here where I'm gonna have to change some shit up. Make Coop think about fucking shit for a minute.
Man, that was a great week, everybody.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, congrats.
So that being said, this week there's some really good games in here. This Thursday, Colts at the Texans. Bobbit, who you got?
I'm gonna go Colts.
Okay. Coop?
I think Texans need to rebound after that embarrassing loss to the Ravens.
I wouldn't say it was an embarrassing loss to the Ravens. I think the Ravens are just that good.
They are really, really good, but I think that's the most points that Deshaun Watson has ever lost in NFL so far. So
well, he was bound to lose by that many at some point. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I think this is a bounce back game for Houston. So and is this in Houston?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I'm going with Houston.
Of course you are.
He's not
Heather?
the only one.
Heather?
I went with the Colts.
I wonder what the point spread is. You know what the point spread is, Coop?
No idea. No idea.
Well, you fucking
I don't look up the point spread for stuff like that.
You suck. That tells me a lot. So, this game here, I do agree with Coop. The Texans need a bounce back game. They are at home, and it is the Colts, so it's a division rival. So, what week is this? Week 12?
Yeah.
Marlon Mack is out as well.
Marlon Mack is out.
Yeah, that's a change here as well.
And that just changed my pick. It's going to be the Texans. Because I was going to pick the Colts.
Okay, yeah, but unless he's like, it's like as far as what they're saying right now, he's out.
You motherfucker.
So Well, questionable. I
Well,
don't see him healthy anyway. So.
Okay, well,
can I change mine to the Texans then?
yes.
Because I didn't know that.
That's fine. I do have it up on the board. There, people are. I haven't seen anything.
And the reason why I'm only saying Marlon Mack is out is because I have him on my fantasy team, and they just said he's out. So.
Sunday games: the Broncos at the Bills.
This is the one that made me think.
Heather, who you got?
I very begrudgingly went with the Broncos because Bills, yes, they're a good team, but they have their every other week kind of issue going on as well.
You think so?
I think so.
What are they? 7-3, 8-3, 7-3? I think they're 7-3. It's fine. I mean, they do have their moments where they do take a shit on themselves, but Bobbitt?
I'm gonna go Bills.
Okay. Coop?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills as well. I think Allen's just doing a good job. I think he'll.
Okay. Yep. I'm sure that what you said was fantastic, Coop, but you went mute on me.
It's all right.
What are you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think the Bills at home, their defense, and their running game, and just a mix of what they can do. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. Oh my God, the game of the week: the Giants at the Bears. Who's gonna get? Who's gonna
Did
get?
you hear about Matt Nagy not wanting to give up play calling?
Well, why would he want to give up play calling?
Well, I mean I hate that Chicago offense so much.
But it's not his fault.
Ugh.
Well, no. It is his fault. For some reason, he's scared to just let Mitchell Trubisky do his thing. I'm just gonna say this: the race to 13 is the answer to this game. Whoever gets to 13 first wins.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win. The Bears last year relied on their defense to score points for them, and they are not doing that this year. That is why the Bears are struggling. And the Bears, and I think we talked about this with Minnesota as well, with Gina and I were talking about the Vikings. The Vikings went in 2 years ago, were they're disguised by a great defense and a great running game, mostly by a defense able to stop people from scoring, because they had to scratch and claw that year for wins. Yes, they went 13-3, I think, but they had to scratch and claw. So that being said, the Bears are the same way. But the Vikings, the difference with the Vikings is they can actually run the ball and throw it at times. The Bears can't run or throw. So I'm going with the Bears. Coop, what about you?
I don't like the Chicago offense. I think that they're going to be kicking field goals.
But they are going up against one of the worst defenses.
Yeah, that is true. But I do think that with Saquon Barkley, that they might be able to. It's going to be basically that line against Saquon Barkley. That's probably the game you're going to be watching there. So.
And the Bears' defense still is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's.
It's going to be a race. It's going to be a race to 13. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think in this one I'm going to go with the Giants just because they have Saquon Barkley, and I think he's going to score maybe a touchdown or two.
We'll see. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Bobbitt?
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will. Bobbitt?
The Bears.
The Bears? Heather?
I went with the Bears. That was another game that I sat there and thought about.
It is one of those that you have to think about because both teams are
just
fucking
god-awful.
terrible.
Yeah.
I
hate thinking about terrible teams.
Yes.
The next game, the Steelers at the Bengals. I'm going with the Steelers because the Bengals are trash.
Connor is questionable in this game as well. The running back for Pittsburgh.
Right, but he has been questionable.
Yeah. He's like unhealthy, healthy kind of thing.
But they're going up against the Bengals, so...
Yeah, so Steelers.
Yeah. Bobbit?
It's pretty obvious, Steelers.
Heather?
I went Steelers. There's no way they're losing this one. Unless the Bengals get their heads out of their asses, which I don't think that's happening.
Right. Did you get the... Because it sits up great up there, honey.
Yeah, I know. It's on my phone, too. It's easier for me to see.
Okay. The next game. The Nope. The Dolphins at the poop. The Browns.
Dolphins at the what?
The Dolphins. The Browns. Poop. The Browns. Or poop.
Oh.
Poop is brown, Bobbit. So the Cleveland Browns.
I know.
Okay. Well, God damn it.
The Skype cut out.
No, it didn't. You just weren't listening. The Dolphins at the Browns. Coop?
I gotta go with the Browns.
Dolphins are playing better.
Yeah, I don't know. I just knowing the Dolphins, I think this is like an up and down game. I think the Browns could get this win. So.
Heather?
I went with the Browns, but I would not be surprised if the Dolphins won this one.
Bobbit?
I'm going Dolphins.
You're going with the Dolphins? I'm going to go with the Browns.
Because you got to think, the Browns' best defensive player is currently out.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. They have 2 defensive players out.
Uh-huh.
But will it make a difference? The Browns still have some pretty...
I think it will.
I think the Browns still have pretty good talent at defense. I don't think they're going to be that big of a difference. They are playing the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the... I'm still going to go with the Browns, though. I think they just... All right, Buccaneers at the Falcons.
I'm gonna go with the Dirty Birds.
I am too. They're going 3 in a row.
Falcons?
Yep. Bobbit?
I guess I'll go with the Falcons.
The Falcons?
Heather?
I went Falcons. I banked on them last week, and I was the only one that believed in them.
Well, I just didn't think that they could stop fucking Christian McCaffrey. They couldn't stop him, but they kept him out of the fucking end zone. Still scored 24 fantasy league points. That's how you fucking win. Right there. The Panthers at the Saints.
Saints.
You think so?
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Saints. Panthers are done. They're dead. Dead in the water.
See, well, okay. We're going to beat the Redskins, and that's it.
Are you sure about that?
If we don't, I'm just going to be done as a Panthers fan forever.
You don't know what happened to them? I can tell you exactly what happened to them. Cam Newton got hurt. Telling you, that Falk was not the answer. I even tried telling Bob it. Nobody fucking listened to me.
Started out good, but then lost his fire.
I just think that Carolina needs better wide receivers and more talent. Like, DJ Moore's been dropping a lot of balls, I think, for Carolina.
He's good, but he does drop balls.
Yeah.
He does drop balls.
I just think they need some better talent on the outside, that's all. They still have Greg Olsen there, which he can't do it by himself.
No, and neither can Christian McCaffrey.
Well, they don't really use Greg Olsen. I have him on my fantasy team, and they did not use him.
They used him against the Packers. The Packers gave up like 100 yards to him.
Poor DJ Moore. He's been dropping more balls in a teenage locker room.
That don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean, but whatever. Next game, the Seahawks at the Eagles. I'm going with the This is a tough one
It
because
is.
the Eagles are very good at home.
That's against the
I'm
Seahawks.
going Seahawks.
Seahawks at the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, Seahawks do struggle on the road, so.
And they are traveling all the way across the country. I'm going with the Eagles.
I gotta go
I'm
Seahawks.
going Seahawks.
We'll see. Their defense is struggling. The Seahawks defense has not been very good this year. Their offense is carrying them. Heather?
I went with the Seahawks, though again, I would not be surprised if the Eagles won.
The Lions at the Redskins.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm going to go with the Lions.
I'm gonna go with Lions too.
I'm going to go with the stadium burning down from horribleness.
That's horrible. Heather?
I guess I'll go with Trent stupid Lions.
Heather?
I went with the Lions.
Raiders at the Jets. I'm going Raiders. I'm not even going to fucking talk about it. I'm sure Coop's not going to want to talk
Raiders.
about it.
No, I'm gonna go with Jets.
You would go with the Jets, you fucking pothead. Heather?
Goonies never say die. I'm out Raiders.
I don't know why you keep saying that, but whatever.
Because the guy who played
I
Sloth
got you.
played
Oh
for
my
the Raiders.
I got you. I got you. You got them all?
Coop is the only one that went Jets, right?
Yep. Of course, Coop went with the Jets because
Dean has that bomb
smoking
water.
some good stuff tonight.
Jaguars at the Titans. I could toss a coin in the air for this one, huh?
Yeah, and Titans really piss me off with picks. Oh man.
Bobbitt, who are you going with?
I'm going to go Jag.
Heather?
I went Titans. I don't think Gardner Minshew has it to beat the Titans.
He's not. It's Nick Foles as the quarterback. No.
Even worse.
No, even better. How did the Jaguars do this past weekend?
Terrible.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, they got spanked by Indianapolis.
Okay. Coop, who are you taking?
Just didn't like the offense of what I saw from the Jags, so I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Wendy.
I'm gonna go with the Titans as well. I hate the Titans.
I do too, but you
But
know what?
Cowboys at the Patriots. This will be an interesting game. It just depends on which Cowboys team shows up.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots are looking
Looking
pedestrian. No, they're not looking garbage. They're looking pedestrian. They're coming back to everybody else. They aren't the team that they were.
At the start of the year.
No, last year. They're looking pretty pedestrian, if you ask me. But again, it's in New England, so Bobbitt, who do you got?
I'm going Patriots.
Heather?
I went Patriots.
Coop?
I'm gonna take a gamble and go with the Cowboys in this one.
Going with the Patriots. Cowboys, the Patriots still have pretty good defense. That's three games, right, Coop? That's 3 games right there. If I win.
Yeah. Well, I just, it's. I want to look for the Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott connection when it comes to quarterback for New England.
Right.
So that's the matchup I'm going to be looking at.
Yeah. Yep. Look at Rayshawn. Patriots were more aggressive the last 2 years versus this year.
Absolutely.
Learning. He is.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a very good statement right there. That's the Patriots are not as aggressive as they were 2 years ago or last year. I can totally wholeheartedly agree with that. Probably the game of the week because of the two teams and what's at stake.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers at the 49ers, and it's in San Francisco at Levi Stadium. This will be another real test for San Francisco to see how good they really, truly, honestly are.
Yep.
Because again, who did they beat last week? They should have destroyed the Cardinals if everybody said they're as good as they thought they were. Remember that Dennis Green thing?
Mm-hmm.
Where they were as good as we thought they were? And we were talking about that this past weekend. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm just picking the Packers to pick the Packers. But I'm going to say this. If Green Bay can do what they've been doing all year long, aside from 2 games this year, they will kill the fucking 49ers. They will destroy the 49ers. The 49ers, George Kittle, I don't know if he's playing this weekend. He's hurt.
He's still listed as questionable.
So, without him being in there, they don't have that big threat. They do have that deep threat, but I think Green Bay's kind of fixed that physicality, that they got their physicality back on defense. That being said, we will see. It's gonna be. I think it'll probably be like 28-23, something like that.
It's gonna be another one of those heart attack games.
I don't see the 49ers. I don't think the 49ers are as real as everybody thinks they are. They have not played anybody. And yes, they beat the Rams. Well, how good are the Rams? The Rams have been
really
mediocre at best this year. And the last time they played the 49ers, they didn't have 3 of their 4 best players. That also being said, I'm going to say this: the Seahawks, who right along the lines of the Packers, beat the 49ers. So, I think Green Bay, New Orleans, and Seattle are the 3 best teams in the NFC. San Francisco's there, but I don't think that fucking San Francisco is as good as those other 3 teams. Heather?
I went with the Packers. I don't think the 49ers have it in them to beat the Green Bay Packers.
Bobbitt?
I'm gonna go Green Bay, dude.
And Coop.
The matchup I want to see is if that Green Bay line can hold up Nick Bosa. That's what I want to see.
Well, here's the thing. Bakhtiari is one of the best tackles in the league.
Yeah.
And he has, when it comes to that, aside from the Nick Bosa thing, but that was a scheme thing. They were having a tight end pick him up for what reason, I don't fucking know. I think Bakhtiari will do the job as long as he knows if Bosa is on his side, he's got him one-on-one. So that means they're going to be doing a lot of chip blocking this weekend. But you can't just touch the guy and hope that it fucking works. Bosa's way too fast. Both of them are way too fast for that. You can't just chip them and hope it goes. You've got to make them go all the way around you. Don't let him get the shortest distance between from point A to point B is a straight line. Don't let him get straight. You have to force him around you. If you can do that, I think Aaron Rodgers. Another thing, Aaron Rodgers can get out the pocket. I don't know how good the other guys are on the other side. We will find out, though.
Yeah, I do think that the line will try and convince him to run to the outside a couple times at least.
It's gonna be tricky. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. I am looking forward to that matchup, Bakhtiari versus Bosa or Blaga, who's also one of the better tackles on the other side of the ball. So there you go.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna go with the Packers though. But
it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. 31-28 to 27, something 28-23, something like that.
Like I
If,
said,
if
it's gonna
the
be one
line
of those
can
hard
stay
fight
disciplined
games.
and not take penalties, then that's going to be probably the matchup to watch.
Yep. I agree. And the Monday night game, the Ravens at the Rams, which we'll probably be watching that instead of Monday Night Football, right?
If you want.
No, it's up to you.
I mean, I wouldn't mind watching that instead of Raw because Raw's gonna be shit. It's the Raw after Survivor Series.
Whatever. It don't matter. I don't care. The Ravens at the Rams. Bobbit, who you got?
I'm going Ravens.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know what has happened to the Rams, but it seems like everybody's figuring them out, and they're not doing as well as last year. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Heather?
Of course I went with the Ravens.
Of course you did. I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. But let's keep in mind who plays for the Rams and that defense. They do very good against quarterbacks like this.
I'll be worried when the Ravens come up against the Broncos.
I would.
Quarterback is there.
I would be worried about the Ravens playing the Rams because they have the best defensive player in the game today on the other side of the ball, and that being Aaron Donald. He can make things happen on that side of the ball. If Aaron Donald becomes a factor, the Ravens will lose this game. Because I don't think that Lamar Jackson has an answer for Aaron Donald yet. If Aaron Donald can become a factor. That Aaron Donald has to become a factor in order for that to be a reality. But it could be a reality because Aaron Donald is that good at what he does. Plus, they have Jalen Ramsey on. They have probably some of the best players at each level. They have Jalen Ramsey at cornerback. They have I don't know who they have at linebacker, but I know that they have Aaron Donald on that defensive line, and that is scary when you have players like some of the best players at every level on your team. We will see. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm picking the Ravens, but if Aaron Donald can become a factor, the Ravens will not beat the Rams. That's all I'm saying.
It's going to be a fun game, though.
It is. The Sunday night game and the Monday night game are going to be an interesting watch. I'm not even watching Survivor Series. I'm watching the Packer game. That being said, does anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right.
Another great show.
Yep. And that being said, I want to say thank you to Coop. I want to say thank you to Bobbit. I want to say thank you to the chat. And I want to say thank you to Heather for doing all of the stuff that you do. And we will see you guys next week on Sideline Study Podcast, where we recap or talk about what happened in the world of the NFL and college football next week. Everybody have a great night. And enjoy the games.
Motherfucker.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, at least you showed up at the end of the show.
Yeah, motherfucker.